Have you ever wondered what happens to the souls lost in the skies? Some say they never land, that when tragedy strikes mid-air, some spirits just keep flying, trapped between two worlds, never home, never gone. Today, we're boarding Flight 401, the most haunted flight in aviation history, a place where the dead never checked out, and their spirits, they still roam the cabin, still walk the aisles, still wait for a destination that never came. But before you buckle in, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join Scary Night Teller, where we uncover chilling, true horror stories, urban legends, and unsolved terrors every single week. Section 1: The Flight That Never Truly Landed. On December 29, 1972, Eastern Airlines Flight 401 took off from New York, heading for Miami. The weather was clear, the crew was experienced, everything was normal. But at 11:42 p.m., just minutes from their destination, something went wrong. A minor issue with a landing gear light distracted the pilots. They didn't notice the autopilot was off. The plane slowly descended, unnoticed, until it slammed into the black swamp of the Florida Everglades. The result? 110 passengers and crew on board. 101 lives were lost, swallowed by mud, water, and silence. But here's the part they don't talk about in flight school, because the dead didn't stay buried, and the story of Flight 401 was far from over. Sound, static, faint radio chatter, then a sharp, jarring plane alarm, sudden cut to silence. Section 2. The ghosts start appearing. Months later, on entirely different planes, strange reports began to surface. Flight attendants started whispering about sightings, faces in the galley mirrors, pale figures sitting in empty seats, whispered names from the shadows. Passengers described icy cold spots in the middle of warm cabins. A maintenance worker said he saw a uniformed crew member vanish through a closed cockpit door. And then came the name that chilled everyone at Eastern Airlines: Don Repo, the flight engineer of Flight 401, dead in the crash, but now spotted by crew on other flights. One flight attendant said she saw him by the oven in the galley, blood down his face, staring at her. He didn't speak. He didn't move. He just watched. Visual: a foggy airplane window. A ghostly handprint slowly appears from the inside. Section 3. Blood in the cabin. And it wasn't just shadows. More than once, flight crews reported bloodstains in the lavatory or smeared along the aisle carpet. Dark red, fresh, sticky. But here's the twist. When anyone tried to clean it up, it would vanish before their eyes, like it had never been there. And no passengers were injured. No one was bleeding. There was no rational explanation. Witnesses said it didn't feel like a haunting. It felt like a message. Because of these planes, they weren't just similar to Flight 401. They were built with parts salvaged from its wreckage. Section 4. Hidden bodies and disturbing discoveries. What Eastern Airlines didn't want the public to know is this. They reused components from Flight 401's remains: landing gear assemblies, ovens, cockpit panels, even seats. All were repurposed into other L-1011 jets across the fleet. But rumors swirled. In the rush to clean the crash site, not all the bodies had been recovered. Some parts still held fragments of the lost, and when you sit in a seat pulled from a tragedy, you may feel a chill, not from the AC, but from the soul that used to sit there. Imagine flying at 30,000 feet, unaware that your row number once belonged to the dead. Section 5. Cover-up or real haunting. Of course, the airline denied it all. They said it was stress, grief, hallucination, collective trauma. But flight crews knew better. Some refused to work on the planes that had salvaged parts. Others claimed they heard voices whispering through the intercom when no one was in the cockpit. One pilot swore he saw Don Repo again, this time in the flight deck. And he didn't just stare, he spoke. He said, "There will never be another crash. Not on this plane," and then vanished. Passengers today still report cold drafts, flickering screens, and faces in the reflection of seatback monitors. And occasionally, someone sees a uniformed crew member walking down the aisle. No name, no interaction, and no record they ever existed. Section 6. Final warning and question for the viewers. So next time you step onto a plane, look carefully at the cabin. Watch the galley mirrors. Pay attention to the lavatory door. Because some planes carry more than luggage, more than passengers. They carry regret, they carry memories, they carry souls. Flight 401 never truly landed, and its spirits never disembarked. Would you dare to fly, knowing that the dead might be seated right next to you? If this story sent chills down your spine, hit that subscribe button to join Scary Night Teller, where we reveal the darkest corners of real-life horror, urban legends, and bone-chilling encounters every single week. And remember,